The president heads to Mar-a-Lago today after wrapping up a critical meeting with China's Xi Jinping. It was billed as cooperation, but make no mistake, folks, this was a power face-off. America walked away with a few short-term wins, but as we have learned before, China's promises are only as good as their enforcement. So trust, but verify. Welcome to Big Money Show. I'm Jackie DeAngelis, along with my co-hosts Gary Kaltbaum, Kevin O'Leary, Brian Brenberg, and with us for the hour, Fox News contributor DeRoy Murdoch. So remember when globalism was going to bring everyone together? Well, the new reality is that it's actually split right down the middle. It's made America and made by China. And the winner won't be decided by diplomats. It's going to be decided by supply chains. China's rare earth dominance and AI ambitions are still the biggest threat to U.S. supply chains. And the U.S. is rearming economically to rebuild what decades of globalization hollowed out. Even Goldman Sachs says it's time for a course correction. Listen to CEO David Solomon with Liz Klayman.
There are a bunch of things strategically and from a national security perspective that are very important to the United States, and we have to make sure that our relationship with the Chinese around those is clear and appropriate, and it hasn't always been. And so, you know, the policy of the last 50 years, let's just participate and it will all be fine, that's been a mistake. And, you know, I think what the administration's doing to try to get clarity on a bunch of these things, I think is important.
Washington is bracing for a long economic and geopolitical fight, one that could define the next century. And there is a lot at stake here. Kevin O'Leary, I want to come to you first on this. You know, President Trump has made some progress here, certainly with a framework for a deal, some timelines that buy America some time to diversify some of the supply chains and partnerships that we have abroad. But again, enforcement is key. I think it'll be different this time with the president because he's got this tariff tool belt that he's not afraid to slap countries with. And I think she realizes that. But still, they look you in the eye and they lie straight to your face. We've seen China do this before.
Since 2000, since they joined the WTO, they have not abided by once of the governance of it at all. This is a long history, IP theft, all of it. But I am really happy we're finally discussing this as adults. We now understand the intention of the Chinese. World dominance in terms of their economy and militarily. And so why don't we just put that on the table and start talking about it? So everything we do now should be on the basis of the next 20 years, who's going to win this fight? First of all, right off the table, whoever has the best AI wins all the wars, because they're going to be done robotically and from satellites and missile controls from space and all the rest of that. AI is number one. Number two, supply chain. Obviously, the Chinese did a fantastic job as a chess game over the last 20 years, making sure that we have nothing that we need now. They actually bought these assets, some out of the United States, and took them out of here and moved them ashore, or off our shores anyways. And so I think of it as saying, okay, now that we know what their intentions are, let's treat them with respect, but let's make sure we win. And so I'll tell you what the derivative of this is going to be, and I'm telling you right now what's going to happen. Because we're going to have to defend the north of this continent, before this end game is over, we will combine the Canadian and the American economy, not through sovereign rights, but access to all the raw materials Canada has. Some kind of economic deal, it won't be any tariffs on it, I can tell you that, so that we can take 5, 6, 7% of GDP and arm the North and tell the Chinese, don't mess with us. That's where we're going, and it's going to happen much faster than you think.
And you bring up an interesting point, because we've been discussing this as a theme pretty much all week, which is, why did the president do it this way, DeRoy? Everybody said if China was your big opponent, why'd you go after the rest of the world with tariffs too, including Canada? But I think this is sort of part of the way that he negotiates, working with allies against China. He did that in Asia when he went and met with all the leaders there and formed some strategic alliances. He's got a long game that he's playing, and I think he's doing it pretty successfully. To Kevin's point regarding the chess game that's been played over the last couple of decades, you've got a different head behind the seat here.
Certainly. I agree that this will be a lot of competition economically between the United States and China. I'm skeptical about the idea of this being ending up in a sort of two superpower world like we had in the Cold War, with America leading the free world and the Soviet Union leading the communist world. There was a very strong ideological component to that, which was belief in Marxism-Leninism, and that people were philosophically tied into this. The only people who believe in Marxism-Leninism anymore are pretty much the Chinese Communist Party, Cuba, Venezuela, and the Zoran Mamdani for mayor campaign. That's about it. So I think what you'll find is you'll find economic cooperation between the two, and nations will be drawn to other countries like the United States, which are strong, which are prosperous, which can protect them. And we've seen this in the Middle East with just a few weeks ago, President Trump going in and to Egypt and having the Middle Easterners essentially witness the Israel-Hamas agreement. We saw it obviously this week in Asia. We saw it over the summer in Europe, where he went to NATO and had the NATO countries increase their commitment to the transatlantic alliance. So I think the competition will go on, but I don't think it's going to be a bipolar.
Can I push back on just one part of that, though? Sure. I don't think China's trying to win they're not trying to win minds and hearts through Marxism anymore. They're going around the world and they're just using currency and they're using economic power and saying, you don't have to be Marxist, but we'd like to own all your energy infrastructure. You don't have to be Marxist, but we're going to buy your port. You don't have to be Marxist, but we're going to own all your farmland and agriculture. And that's how they're getting swayed. That's what they're doing in Latin America. Yeah. That's what they've done in Africa. So what I like is you've got a president now who's pushing back on that. He's going to the Middle East and saying, let's do deals on AI and energy. He's going to Asia, let's do deals on nuclear and rare earths. He's going to Latin America and saying, you're done owning our ports here. We're going to own the ports. We're going to help you if you're Argentina and Malay. We're going to crack down on you if you're Venezuela and Maduro. That's how you play against what the Chinese are doing.
So rather than Belt and Road, it's sort of big, beautiful Belt and Road.
We better get cracking. That's all I can tell you. Larry Kudlow said something yesterday as I was watching the tube. He said, well, we had a deal. We came to a happy place on fentanyl 7 years ago. And what did China do? Not a darn thing. That's number one. Number two, I was in Athens, Greece, a bunch of years ago, and I'm at the port. China owns a bunch of the port. And I decided to go online and looked up Belt and Road. China is everywhere, owning tons in partnerships or by themselves. We got to stop worrying. We need to worry about them, but we got to get cracking. Why? Because they're going to continue to use rare earth every time something bubbles up. We got to start getting on top of that. Why? Go look up, go search. What does rare earth materials go into? Oh, just everything. And if we don't get going, we're going to get whatever the word blackmailed, whatever by China, because they don't really care. They have big self-interest. They've shown it time and time again throughout the years. Even though we need them, they need us. But again, they don't care. Xi is a tough dude. And by the way, when you saw them together, did you see his face?
Yeah.
He was just dead serious.
Yeah,
he wasn't joking around. He was.
But you bring up something that is really important, and I think it's this idea that the president is taking on something that nobody else has done before. Brian's talked about completely decoupling. It's easier said than done. I think he's trying to at least walk it back as much as he can. No other U.S. president has had the strength, the confidence, the courage to take President Xi on in this way. At least he is trying, and that also what you're talking about being on our heels and America getting cracking. That's the other thing the president's doing, because the last 4 years, 8 years under Obama, and we can even go back further than that, we did nothing. And that is costing America now. We have to pay for it, and we've got to play catch up fast.
I think the key is consequences. And the only way you get to squeeze Chinese heads is you have to have the largest economy and the largest army and the best AI. They respect strength. The stick is what they understand, because they don't care about spreading communism. They care about spreading their access to everything else around the world that they want. I love it. I'm so happy that everybody's waking up saying, whoa, these Chinese dudes are nasty.
Yeah.
And they are.
Yeah.
They're nasty, but they understand they have to have access to the world's largest consumer market, or those people in those factories will riot like Frankenstein on the castle in the Hollywood theme. And that's the only way the big guy gets to keep his jobs. They have to have lunch. They got to be able to eat. He has to keep them employed. They got to sell stuff to us. Well, we have that leverage. Squeeze them. Let's squeeze now.
I just have to one thing. President Trump is gone in 3 years.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to be incumbent on the next and the next and the next to continue down this road, because if you stop and you don't get cracking, guess who's taken over?
Well,
it is vital to our economic health going forward with these materials and everything else. And it's good to see we're taking steps that way, but we got to get going.
I mean, if the next is AOC, we're certainly going to have a problem. But if the next is J.D. Vance, I imagine he'll crack a pretty hard whip, Brian.
Well, and also the president is setting an example. You talk about consequences, right? We're having this big debate about drug boats in the Caribbean that we're going after. When you go bomb a drug boat in your own hemisphere because the Chinese are trying to kill you through Latin America and Mexico, Xi Jinping notices that.
He does.
There's no other president in our lifetimes who's going to come up, and if they go back to the open borders, everyone in America is going to remember we had a president who killed people who were trying to kill Americans. That memory does not fade fast. That's how you tell somebody around the globe that we mean business. We're not just here to roll over.
Final word.
Yeah, I agree that rare earths, we've got to get on top of that and break our dependence on China for that. Another huge aspect of that is medical precursors. Antibiotics and a lot of our medicines come from China. And if I were Xi Jinping and wanted to make life miserable for Americans, I'd say, guess what? No antibiotics for 6 months. See how that works out.
Wow.
So we got to bring that stuff back here, or at least get it into friendly countries and not controlled by China.
That was Barry's big point yesterday.
That is the threat. And I think by trying to incentivize pharma to bring manufacturing back over here, the president is sort of looking at this categorically and saying, Brian, to your point, let's decouple, but let's do it piece by piece and back away as much as we can, because we can't kind of set off a bomb right now.
There's been a move afoot. A lot of
either.
companies have moved to Taiwan, Vietnam, away from China, but
there's
need
progress.
to see more and more and more.
Absolutely. All right, let's pivot here. Take a look at shares of Amazon. One of the big movers in the market today, surging to a high after reporting blowout earnings. The AI boom helped the company's cloud growth, seeing sales increase by 20% to $33 billion. But competition is tough. Google is reporting big growth of its own in the cloud unit as well, while Microsoft says Azure revenue is up almost 40% from last year. So this is a competitive space. So far, so good for all the big players. But they are fighting for a piece of this pie, Gary.
I have to tell you, I am so amazed that these companies, I remember when the first one hit $1 trillion, I said, no, it's not going further than that. We're at $5 trillion. These are just magnificent category killer companies that are doing things right and are not, sometimes you sit back and you rest on your laurels. They're paranoid. They're making sure that going forward they continue this route, and there's just quite the few, and I think there's going to be more going forward.